If there's one segment that is critical to us as South Africans, it has got to be this right here, the small, affordable city runarounds. With people's budgets getting smaller and smaller, cars like this, the new Grand i10, they need to become more desirable because there's so much competition in this segment. So today, we're here to find out if this new Grand i10 has got what it takes to face off with the big boys. Now, I've always liked the look of the Grand i10, and I'm happy to say that Hyundai has not disappointed me with this car. There's a nice little angular design that we see coming up front here. First and foremost, if we look at this headlight, it's got a nice L-shaped design. But going onto the grille, we've always said that this year is the year of the grille, and this Hyundai really proves that because this grille is huge, but it is pulled off very nicely. And one thing I do like are these LEDs that are integrated into this grille with this nice silver trim on here. The car does look nice and premium. One thing I must say though is that as nice as this grille looks, I do see a bit of Ford Fiesta in there. Looking at the rear of the car, you've got this nice i10 badge with a honeycomb finish at the C-pillar. And the overall rear end has also been completely redesigned, and I do like how it looks. There's some sporty little cues that Hyundai have added here. For instance, we've got quite a cheeky little diffuser and some nice accentuated lines that again gives the car a bit of a muscular presence. Now, sitting inside this new Grand i10, again, I must say I'm quite impressed. Of course, in this segment, we are going to see plastics, and plastics are apparent in this car, but they're pulled off so nicely. It doesn't feel cheap and nasty. One thing I do like is that they've carried over this honeycomb design that we see here on the door panels, we see it on the dashboard, and we see it outside the car as well. Looking at the seats, we've got this faux leather or pleather as we like to call it. But again, it doesn't look cheap, it rather is tastefully executed, and I do really like this red piping that they've also made to match with the red accents on the aircon vents. Standard shipment on all Grand i10s is a 6.2-inch infotainment screen that supports Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You're also sorted in terms of safety, as standard on all models is dual front airbags, ABS, EBD and ISOFIX in the rear. The new Grand i10 is larger than its predecessor in both length, width and height. You see the benefit of this in the boot with its 260 litres and of course in the rear legroom as well. Now, sitting at the rear of the car, I've purposely placed the front seat in the exact same position that I would be in if I was sitting in the front. So you'll notice that I've got plenty of legroom on this side if I were to be sitting in the back of this car. Yes, I am only 5'7", but I can comfortably say that even someone taller than me would be fine sitting in here. The back seats are also slightly slanted. It feels like a more relaxed position as opposed to me sitting straight up. Another thing I do really like is the fact that you've got these aircon vents at the back, which make it easier for these hot summer days, and you've got a 12-volt socket so your rear occupants can easily charge their phones. So as you would have seen, the launch of the Grand i10 happened in Hyundai SA's Bedford View office. So instead of trying to find a fancy location, we thought we'd drive this car in its natural habitat, which is going to be in and around the suburbs of Bedford View. So the first thing that I've noticed in this new Grand i10 is how the steering feels. In this segment, cars like these tend to have somewhat of a flimsy steering feel, but this is not the case in this car. The car feels rather taut and quite planted on the road. Currently on Van Buren Road, which is a road that is riddled with bumps, speed humps. And in this car, I must say, it absorbs it very well, and the suspension does a very good job at soaking up any imperfections on the road. So in terms of the engines you have on offer, There is a 1 litre 3-cylinder and a 1.2 litre. We're currently in the 1 litre fluid spec, which gives us 49 kilowatts and 94 newton meters of torque. It's quite interesting when we see figures like that, they seem so minuscule. But again, for a city car that's going to be going around the neighborhood, we need a car that can go up inclines and it doesn't feel too sluggish on the road. And that's exactly the case in this car. If you put your foot down, it doesn't blow your hair back at all, but it's not meant to do that. It's meant to simply get you from A to B comfortably. And so far, so good. Now in terms of the gearbox, I've got a 5-speed manual, but there is an option for an automatic. Now judging by the small capacity engine and the fact that you don't have a lot of power, I would recommend that you go for the manual because then you've got more control in terms of your revs and in terms of how you want to drive. But at the end of the day, if you do prefer to have an automatic, then there is an automatic option for you. Now the original Grand i10 was already a very good car, so all this new car has done is improve on that recipe and give us an even better product. Yes, the car has always been charming, but now this new one has got more tech, has got more charisma and more character as well. So we can happily say that this new Grand i10 can definitely face off with the big boys.